All right, cool. We on, man.
We on. We on.
We
We
on,
on. What up, eh?
bro. I'm gonna tell
What,
you,
what, we, what we doing, man?
this about to be a crazy ride, man. A
What
lot of people, you already know, man.
what we
When
doing?
you know what I'm saying, you already know when man, it don't matter how much stuff we do, professionally, personally, man. It's like things that common denominator always gonna come back to like those king days, and
Oh, no question.
man,
Okay.
it'll be somebody like working with me, or what I'm saying, or just doing whatever.
Right.
It could be for years, and it'd be like, hold up a second, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Man, why you didn't tell me, man? You was a part, man. It's like
Yeah.
it never fails, and it's like it's the
No, man.
thing, man.
It must be like how each member of like New Edition feel when they when they get talked about. Everybody played a different part of that kind of group. You know
Bro,
what I mean? Everybody was a Bobby. Everybody was you had your position in that group at some point because it just follows us, man. This is what 20 years in 2021.
next year
Uh,
be that's nuts to think about, dog.
that's crazy, bro. I mean, like we literally was kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though what I was 25 going on 26 at the time. Just
Yeah,
just got married, the year before.
yeah,
Just had Taylor, my oldest, who's now 20. You know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Crazy times, bro. Crazy times. But of course, just being influenced by so much as a young black kid from the hood, but that got to travel all over. We got to start with my humble beginnings and your humble beginnings. You know what I mean? And a lot of people would think, just some hood cats got together and started putting women in a magazine. And it was so much deeper than that. It was a long time coming. So I mean, this is
Now,
sparked by you. And
what is
hold up, hey, hold up, hey.
all
I
right,
want everybody to know this is sparked by Adell because he's been the historian for us as a collective. You know what I mean? Him, Murph. I think y'all two in particular, y'all have like y'all have these memories like elephants, man. And it's crazy. And once you spark it, then it sparks in me and everybody else in the crew. So
man.
I just want to introduce that theme that there are going to be other people that are going to come in
Oh,
after we get through our stuff that help like build the foundation of this.
for sure, for sure. And so, yeah, the purpose of this, going into with 2021, um, going to be that's going to be the 20-year anniversary of King Magazine. And even though that first full issue dropped in November of 2020,
2001.
2001, 2001. Oh my God,
November
day after
2001.
9/11, which is crazy. But
Wow.
even with that being said, instead of waiting until November, because if we start celebrating in November, you're gonna blink and it's gonna be the whole year's gonna be over. So now we're gonna go ahead and celebrate all year long and commemorate,
Yep.
episodes every single week, just going into issue by issue by issue. But we thought it'd be dope to sort of do like a prequel, type of deal, letting people know leading up into the issues, and even the preview issue leading up into that, like where some of these concepts, even originated, give some background and some texture, just to, because people think of you, they're gonna think Brooklyn,
Yeah.
gonna think New York, and now, for last few years, last couple of decades,
Right.
but a lot of people don't realize, the journey,
Oh,
that you've
man.
made to South Carolina,
South
or
Carolina.
Mexico, or Japan.
Yep.
Like, they don't know that, and they don't know how
Yeah.
you picked up so many different nuggets and things that ultimately,
Yeah.
put you in a place to where you thought differently.
It just all gelled together in a different way, man. And then when you take those experiences and all those, pop culture moments and just black culture moments, when you bring all that together with a kid that semi-educated, semi-street,
Right, right, right.
and then you start to experience things on a cultural level outside of the country, internationally. And then
Mhm.
your friends, all my friends just started connecting with me, and you start to say like, oh, this person is well versed in this, and this person is well versed in this, and I need that element. I need them to bring this element. And
Mhm.
then there's more people that just jump on the train, and the train is moving, and next thing you know, the train is starting to shift culture, and it's starting to make noise, and it's picking up other people, and you like, wow, look at this, man, this is crazy. And it's dope because the majority of the team was black. And then we started to get other coaches in on it. Like when you think about Ben Osborne and Patricia DeLuca, my Irish fighters, man, like they set that early groundwork too, in
Absolutely.
building the brand. And I'm just like thinking about it now. I'm just going back like, wow, man, this is crazy. But we're gonna get into that
We
a
gonna
little.
we gonna get
We're
into
gonna
that,
get into
man.
that later.
Come on, let's start with like, dude, what are some of your earliest memories, man, of
Mhm.
just what we now know as culture. What we
Wow,
now
man.
know as culture, what we now know is everything from fashion,
Yeah.
music, to just different, foods, what I'm
Yep.
saying, being attracted to certain women. Like, what are some of the earliest
Early
recollections that of culture to you that that helped to shape?
shaped the thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I would have to say like some of the earliest, memories I have. Um, being born in Brooklyn, and in the particular area that I was in, my dad was in Bed-Stuy, my mom was in Crown Heights, Park Slope. Bed-Stuy was like an extension of Harlem almost, to
Mm.
a lesser degree, Brooklynized Harlem. That's
You
how I
gotta
felt.
explain that for non-New
You know
Yorkers.
what I'm saying? Like
Explain that.
Harlem is super flashy, the mecca of Black America, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way. It's just
Yeah.
Harlem that. But Brooklyn is also the soul of it. Everybody came up. When you start looking at all these different rappers and you find out where they was born. Nas is from Queens, but he was born in Brooklyn. I heard Q-Tip at one point. I think he was. KRS One is Bronx, but he was born in Brooklyn. It's like
Right.
Michael Jordan,
Born
born
in
in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. That's where everyone started, and they kind of migrate out. And I bring that up because my grandmother, she was dating a Jamaican, a Trini dude, and he was a big influence on me as well because he was the one that was always like, "Here's the encyclopedias. We're gonna look at Jeopardy. We're gonna fill your mind with like these tidbits of information," because he
Oh, I
was
feel like we having a Jopra moment or something.
yeah,
I
man.
ain't never heard these stories, but what do
Yeah,
you
yeah, because this is our shit.
what?
I'm gonna give it. This is our
Hold
joint.
on
So
a
this is
second.
gonna get the
Hold
real
on
with
a
this
second.
one.
The Trinity dude, where this dude come from?
Yeah, yeah, man. I've been holding on to a lot. So he was the one that would kind of like structure, you know, educational elements and always preach like school and all that. My pops, track star, super smart, did his thing. My mom's super smart, went into she was like the executive assistant for the police department, like one of the police chiefs and stuff like that. So these are things that I'm remembering. Like we said, we was gonna go like third, fourth gradish, you
Yeah.
know. So third grade, I go down south. I go to South Carolina. Um, I go to Georgetown, South Carolina. It's a small town in between Myrtle Beach and Charleston, right on 17. So if you're going south on
Hmm.
17, you're gonna run into Myrtle Beach, Georgetown, Charleston, and it's a steel town.
And so this is like
This is like
Chris
80.
Rock people, right?
Oh yeah, Chris Rock family from there.
Yeah.
Positive K, you know what I'm saying? Got him in that joint. He from
Yeah.
there. It's a lot, a lot of a
My
lot of
pocket
people
is
from there.
getting fatter.
Yeah, yeah.
Got him,
And
man.
and like being from Brooklyn, you got a certain kind of style. You got, your kicks is right and all that. But when you go down there, all of that didn't really necessarily matter when you like 7, 8 years old. It's like, yo, can you
Mm.
fight? Can you beatbox? Can you break dance? You know what I'm saying? Is your haircut
Mm.
fresh? Like that type of stuff mattered, you know.
Even that earlier on, like hip hop already started to catch on in South Carolina.
South Carolina, man. I used to on Saturdays and stuff. I would go down there in the summertime, and on like Saturdays and all. I remember religiously Soul Train. I remember like Solid Gold. I'll be watching like all these old school westerns with my grandmother and my grandfather. You know, Gunsmoke,
Duke.
You know, yeah, Duke, man, that's my heart. Wide Earp. Like I'm looking at all this, you know, wildness, country stuff that I would never see in New York. Wow. And then I'm also looking at Dukes of Hazzard, you know, Riptide, you know, Heart to Heart, Dynasty.
Right,
you know, looking at Falcon Crest. Yeah, Falcon Crest, all the big, huge ones.
General Hospital, all of that.
Yeah, all that.
One Life to Live.
Yep. But then you're also looking at Good Times. You're looking at Jefferson's.
What's happening?
You know, and my all-time favorite show, and this is a King Jim. We're gonna go King Jim, like Fred Sanford, man. Sanford and Son. My favorite. I could watch that all. My family knows I could watch that all day. But
Rollo.
just in influence like that on the TV and the film side, like, you know, you start thinking about like one of my favorite movies I just saw the other day, Back to the Future, and I just went into this whole like, I don't know, man. I went into a rabbit hole. I know everything about Back to the Future right now. I don't know why, but just feeling nostalgic.
What's the flexor? What's the
yeah. You start thinking about stuff like that. But then my uncles back in Brooklyn, they would show me all the blaxploitation movies. You know what I'm saying? Coffee Browns, and you know, you're looking at Black Caesar, looking at Dolomite stuff and the records. I'm listening to Eddie Murphy's first comedy records and Red Fox and Richard
yeah, all of that.
Like all of that stuff. So, you know, 70s baby going into the 80s, and then you got cartoons. So you got Transformers and G.I. Joes and He-Man and Thundercats and Silverhawks and, you know, regular Tom and Jerry. They was bugging. You know what I'm saying? Like
Saturday morning cartoons.
Come on, man. You had everything. You had the cereal.
Super Friends.
Yo, come on, man. You know, Justice League. Like
exactly, man.
It was so much that we can grab from for your imagination. Voltron, man. Come on, man. It's too much. It's too much. And then comic books. Now I'm getting into the world of comic books, and you know, between South Carolina and Brooklyn, it's like I had so much time to read, man. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all that. So you went outside and you came in the house.
You ain't have a lot of damn channels when you came in the house.
And when you came in the house, it was only like, but what, 5 channels? If you really.
Yeah. You ain't had no damn VCR. If you missed your show, you missed your show.
You missed your show. It was a wrap. You ain't see that joint until you
repeat. Until it repeated, like, damn, man. However many months later, it's gonna come on again.
Word up. You think about that stuff, old TVs, old radios, and then records, man. Like, music is just a big part of my family and my life. You know, my uncles, all DJs except for one. My mom used to just listen to the radio, Hot 97, not Hot 97, Kiss FM, WBLS. We used to listen to those so much. She used to just keep them on. Even if we looking at TV, the radio is on. She put the radio on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cleaning up. She playing records.
Yeah.
Friday, somebody in the family is bringing 12 inches and whole albums, and you know, those moments when Michael Jackson is dropping or somebody huge is dropping. Curtis Blow records. I was just singing Basketball the other day. You know, you sit by the radio, hand on the dial tune, pump up the, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just all those mixed shows and all that. Like, so I'm a kid taking all this in, and I'm outside playing. And you're picking up stuff from the hood. You're picking up stuff from older G's. You learning how to talk to girls. They telling you, you know, here's all the candy that you're supposed to get. Nah, that's whack candy. You get this kind of candy. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all the different kind of street games and all that. That's my
So you're the oldest. You're the oldest.
Oldest.
Right. Yep. Your uncles, like what was like your youngest uncle? Like, what was that age difference?
10 years.
So that's for a lot of people. That's like a sibling.
That's a brother.
In a
That's my
lot of families, yeah.
yeah, 10 years. My uncle Daryl, he's only 10 years older than me. That's my big bro. I used
Right.
to, like I used to annoy the hell out of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Breaking his record, his needles. I used
Yeah.
to fuck his needles up, and he'd be like, "Yo, don't touch it. I'm leaving. Don't touch my set." All right. Click. He know him right on. There's a couple of times he ran back in. I'll be chilling.
So
But
was this going over to your grandmother's house and
this is
hanging
all
out
about my
and messing with his stuff?
this is the craziest thing, bro. And you've been on the block. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you've been on the block, linking between Washington and Underhill. They used to call it Crack Kingdom in the New York Times back in the day. That's where like it all went down. And my hood is notorious for craziness, you know, and we just looked at it like that was our block, you know, between Underhill and Washington and Prospect Heights / Crown Heights. And I was lucky enough that I lived directly across the street from my grandmother. So we're in 320 Lincoln on the fourth floor. My grandmother and my uncles were in 323 directly across from us on the fourth floor. So I
That's
could literally call out, "Yo, grandma," before I go downstairs and y'all cook.
wow, that's
If
crazy.
you come to the window, or my uncle might be in the window when I look out the window. He's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, we got some. Come on!" Like, pew, go over. Yo, mom, I'm going across the street. Like, who gets to live like that, man? Like, it's rare. You get your immediate family members right
That's
across the street.
crazy.
So,
But that's the thing. That's one of the things that we had. That's man. I mean, we're just missing so much of now. Just that whole sense of community, man.
oh man, the community was it for me, man.
You
Like,
move somewhere now, you don't know your neighbors, or you move.
yeah, you might go, you might throw this up to them.
Yeah,
You
what's
might,
up? You know, you're
you
right,
might,
right.
you
But then,
know,
like on your block, I mean, you and as crazy as things were, and it's nuts that you and I being the same age, man. We grew
yep,
up before crack,
yep,
been in the same, in these same communities during crack. You know what I'm saying? And as things sort of evolved into other things,
of
but
course.
for whatever reason, this is what a lot of people outside of the culture really don't understand. We still felt safe
Oh yeah, as
in
crazy
our
as it
community,
was, as
as
crazy as
crazy as things were.
and families would be like, "Yo, be careful," da 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 da. It still was like, "All right, I know I'm gonna be good in a way." You know what I mean? You just knew where to go and where not to go, who to mess with, who not to mess with, and sometimes it end up happening.
Yeah,
But at the same time,
something's gonna happen. I mean,
something gonna happen.
something's
You in the
gonna
hood
happen. Yeah,
in
it's
the
something.
70s
Yeah,
and 80s. It's going
right.
something's gonna go down, you know. And just real quick, what's the flip of that for Michigan? Because you from Flint, you from a steel city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You from Car City, like all Detroit's right there. Ann Arbor's kind of ways.
Right,
Got
right.
Troy over there, but y'all are like the heartland of America as far as like the industrial movement. What was it like growing up out there?
What a lot of people don't realize is that General Motors was founded in Flint, Michigan.
Wow.
Like we think about Motown in Detroit, and whether it's the Motor City or Motown Records, Motown, but Flint, his nickname is Vehicle City. That's
Right.
where General Motors was founded.
Yep.
And so I'm talking about for decades, you would have people from the South, West, East, coming from all over the country, moving to Flint because it's like, man, they got them good paying factory jobs. You mess around, get you a job, whether, even without a high school diploma, working on the assembly line, living a good life, making a really, really decent salary, getting yourself a house. It's like growing up, everybody knew somebody, like everybody's mother, father, uncle worked in the shop. And that's where so many people aspire to do, go to college, or maybe not go to college, just, hope that your uncle or your mom's or your dad could get you into the shop.
Wow.
And that was just that's what it was. So when you think about that crazy storm of crack hitting and the industry leaving the city, and Roger Moore, Oh,
The
Michael
film,
Moore, I'm talking Roger Moore. Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, yeah, the film dude.
Michael Moore, the filmmaker, back in the 80s, he did a documentary called Roger and Me.
Yep.
And so that whole thing was basically, his very first, film. And it was talking about how the industry left our hometown of Flint, Michigan, and how it affected us and really shook us. So you got to think, all these people, most of which, a lot of them, didn't have high school education, maybe some limited college, but this is what they did for a living. There ain't no pivoting and going, like, this is what they did. They're used to making these decent salaries, having this reliable job, going to work every day. And so when the industry started, leaving, and heading towards Mexico and overseas, man, you got a lot of depressed people. You got a lot of people out of work. You got a lot of people. It's easy for them to transition into the drug, use.
Mm-hmm.
And crack got like super crazy, and so a lot of those fiends, were these hardworking blue collar. It's crazy, man. Just to think how all of this stuff.
It's all interconnected, because even if you're all the way in Flint, Michigan, dealing with crack, here I am all the way in Brooklyn dealing with crack.
Yeah,
it's like our neighborhoods are predominantly black, if not all the way. And it's like, is this planned? Was it like the bomb that dropped on us? Just drugs? You know what I'm saying? Like,
what? No internet. It ain't like we looking on Twitter.
I don't know that's happening with you.
And it's like, oh man, they doing it like this in Brooklyn, so we're gonna do it like this in Flint. Like, no, this is like a universal thing that was going on across the board, man. Yeah. And cats was getting money, man. Cats was like really, really getting money. And so getting dog. So, I grew up, household. I got my older sister, died before I was born. But the household that I grew up in, based on my mother's children, older brother who's 9 years older, older sister that's 8 years older, older sister that's 4 years older. So for me, it was just nuts to see, like this era that we're talking about, like early, going up until mid 80s. And I started to see my older brother and sister who were in high school. And this was like, man, how it was really all of their peers that were selling, some using, but a lot of their peers were getting killed. And so at one point in time, even that early, I started getting like sort of addicted to the Metro section in a newsletter, and I would just read and just see like how all these people, this house got shot up, this house got shot up, and these drug dealers, these people went to jail. And then I would also see it up and down my block.
It's crazy.
Like people literally getting killed. We live right across the street from a park. And so my childhood elementary school that all of us went to, Dewey Elementary, which is interesting. That's the same spot. Every now and then you'll see Jaden Smith. He'll come to Flint.
Oh, right. When he did the water joint.
With the water thing. And he got like the water machines, a big filtration shit, but he brought one for the whole city, which is weird. But the place that used to be my elementary school, when I brought you on my old block, the place that used to be my elementary school, which is right across the street from the house I grew up in, that's where he took that water filtration machine. Like that's the place he goes. It's called the Broom Center now. So that's where he goes to visit. But my whole community, I mean, people getting shot in the park, people always shooting dice, smoke. I mean, it was a crazy childhood. People getting shot and killed up and down the block. And it just sort of, it was what it was.
It's one of those things where it's like, you think about it now in these times and you'll be like, damn, we lived in some real rough areas during some real rough times. And everybody now is kind of like on the same level with like the shutdown and everything. But back then, everybody wasn't on the same level if you weren't from those hoods.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel as though like there were different levels, because when I went down south and I was within the black community, I went to school with white kids in fourth grade, and their families were living a little better, not a whole lot, but a little better than us. Right. When I would go over to their crib and we played basketball, I'm like, damn, they got that cable thing.
Yeah, right, right.
Because I think around that time was like the first time I really started noticing around about cable and stuff like that. And then when came back to Brooklyn, we stealing it, but we we started getting like the early days of it. And once cable started hitting, that opened up a lot of things, man. Because now you're getting like these different channels of information, and I always thought like, oh, it'll be dope to work in TV or to be on TV.
Bruh.
Like, come on, man. Like Eddie Murphy was
Bruh.
the absolute biggest anybody.
So listen. So what you just said right there,
Yeah.
um, Eddie Murphy, dude. Like, so I remember having my defining moment of like, oh snap, I know what I want to do when I grow up.
Wow.
Mind you, I remember the very first thing I said I wanted to be was a preacher.
Whoa.
Go figure. I think I was like 5 years old. I don't even
Yep.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was on my
'Cause
Kanye.
they were the dominant figures in our communities.
Prominent figures, man.
They
Prominent
were the
figures.
ones everybody went up to. They give money. They
But
telling you about a better you and a better everyone. Come on, man. Yo, the preachers was
so
it.
so being and I grew up in one of those, it wouldn't be considered a mega church, but it was big enough of a church, right? Um, and so because we was one of them families. I mean, we went to church every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? My father used to drive the church van,
Wow.
picking people up, dropping people off, things like that. So that was a part of my mother, for a while used to play piano in the church,
Wow.
but I remember Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Man.
Beverly Hills Cop 1, and I think it was like I don't remember who I went with. I probably went with my older sister Richetta.
Yep.
But I remember just the energy I felt. This Axel Foley character and all of this random shit he was getting himself into, and just watching, and she'd be like, "Oh, I mean, I was just so
Yeah.
drawn to the screen. It's like I did not want this energy in this moment to end. I was just like, shit is just so fascinating." And so I remember, the movie finally went off. Like, dude, I was stuck.
Yep.
Like I couldn't leave the theater. Like I literally stood there. I started getting up when everybody was walking out, and after a while, I just stopped and I just watched the whole entire credits.
Yep.
Listened to all of the music, and then I stood there until the lights came up, and it was like, damn. I want to give people that feeling. That's how I knew.
Right.
I'm gonna live in Hollywood. I'm movies and TV.
But hold on, the concept of even saying I'm gonna live in Hollywood, I'm gonna go to California. How?
I don't know nobody.
It was like, yo, it was hardly any, my mom put me on planes like when I was 7 just to go down south here and there once in a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like, yo, I'm going to Cali. You know what I'm saying? We rarely did a plane. It was always a bus or a car or maybe the train.
Mm.
It was a thing that I had to get to Cali at some point because all the TV shows, not Facts of Life, but Family Ties and the Brady Bunch and all of that stuff, they were all out there in California. Even the cartoons will be in either New York setting or Cali setting.
Cali, yeah.
And the Cali settings always look dope.
Yeah.
And I used to just bug out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
trees.
Yep. And I always this is a whole nother thing because of what you did with that. Bugs Bunny used to always say, I made a wrong turn at Albuquerque. And I used to, as a kid, I used to be like, yo, Albuquerque sounds like an ill name. I gotta go there one day. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
It was just the concept of these pop culture creations could have you dreaming about a life afar from your hood situations. And that's what Last Dragon showed me what we were living in and gave me that feeling of like you could be low on the totem pole, but if you believe in yourself, you get the glow. You could beat Show Enough, Crush Groove, all of that. But Boogaloo, breaking, all of that stuff, being able to see your culture kind of like twisted a little bit from a different prism and seeing you know, Turbo and what's his name, Boogaloo Smith and all of them, like
Boogaloo Shrimp.
Shrimp. Yeah, like yo, this shit is crazy. This is
Dude.
crazy just because of movies and TV.
But and the thing is, man, it's crazy how just seeing some of that stuff now, it'd be like, damn, seeing that as an adult, it'd be like, damn, some of that shit's corny as hell. But in
So
that time, right. But in that time, it was enough to light a spark to just spark your imagination.
all
To
the way.
think like what was possible, even if it was a fictitious world. Just like shit, we was fascinated by the Flintstones and the Jeffersons, even though there were no black people. But
the Jetsons.
I'm saying there wasn't no black people in the Flintstones either.
Oh, no, hell no.
We weren't in the past or the future. But
we didn't exist in those worlds.
We landed somewhere in the middle. But I mean, just to see those worlds, man, like that, man, I'm telling you, Crush Groove, man.
Crush Groove, bro.
Beat Street Breaking, like all of these different things, man. Even listening to the music.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, even on a lesser scale, the one thing that kind of like let you know that black people were kind of like ascending a little bit more so outside of TV, outside of film, outside of radio was like the music video. Once the music video started to come up, because we're from the era where they were going on, but you didn't have ample access to music videos like that. You know what I mean?
Now I'm jealous as hell of y'all and just the whole Ralph McDaniel, all of that. But them earlier days, it's crazy to think. Once again, man, we grew up in an amazing era.
We did.
1980, you had MTV being founded, BET being founded, ESPN being founded.
Yep. These 24
these 24-hour networks of just coach and it's like even when we were watching like Friday night videos,
bro. Wait, what's the name? Tatero?
I don't even remember my man's name.
He was like Dominican or Puerto Rican or something, but he was always fresh.
Oh, you talking about Danny Terrio?
Danny
Terrio. No, Danny Terrio, did he was on like a dance show?
He was on the dance show. I'm thinking, no, you know what? I'm thinking of New York Hot Tracks.
Right. Yeah.
New York Hot Tracks. That was a video show. Like, I think that was around the time of Video Music Box. Because they used to be on U68.
But when did that even start? When did Music Video Box even start?
I think like 87.
See, okay, well, I feel a little better.
86? Let me see.
I feel a little better. I feel a little better but you got to think though, even starting back in those early days, MTV, BT, thinking about those early Prince videos, them early Duran videos,
my bad,
Police videos.
Ralph McDaniels started the legendary Video Music Box in New York in 1983.
That's crazy.
1980.
What hip hop was even out?
Run DMC, a bunch, man. You had Curtis Blow. You had
Blow. You had Grandmaster Flash. You had
you had Houdini. Houdini was around. Yeah, man. Yup. It's crazy, bro.
That's nuts, man. And bruh, and it's like even when you think about them, so like I remember. And I know for you it's gonna be different, but like I remember like those earlier, like some of my earliest memories even hip hop, whether it was Rappers Delight, The Message, the early, Run DMC records,
Dana Dane for me,
Double Dutch Bus,
you had
which I had memorized back then.
Yeah, it's so many, man. Like when you start thinking back on like what we were listening to at the age we were listening to and the ages of those rappers, they were really young back then.
They were young as hell.
They were young. It wasn't like super old cats doing this type of stuff. This was a youth culture coming up out of civil rights. They're looking at Huey P. Newton and Black Panthers and Malcolm X and Martin. They're looking at those type of individuals. They're being inspired by them, and
Right.
they're coming up and coming out of these nasty environments. Be nasty, not even tough, nasty environments.
The
You
thing
know,
the thing that I probably love most, man, and this was sort of going to your concept of going to a different community, different school that had white people and getting exposed to different things within the culture. That's sort of like what MTV was for us,
mm-hmm.
right? So like, and it was like that for, I probably went to, I think 4 different elementary schools,
Yep.
which I hated, my parents split up and, we was, go stay with my aunt. Then, we moved over here. Then my brother messed up and, get us kicked out. Then we moved over here. So it was interesting going into different environments where, one, and my mother was also trying to move us into better communities, whatever, better school type situations. And but I never, it's like I could sort of, blend in, but it never felt as comfortable as it did when I was really around us.
Right. I feel you.
But it was cool to be exposed to different things and to see different possibilities, though.
There you go. And that was the thing, like being able to go from Brooklyn to South Carolina, did a year out there in 4th grade, then came back to Brooklyn for 5th grade, went to PS9. Big shout out to all my family that went there. And then 6th grade, my mom marries my stepdad and we moved to Japan. So now I'm on an Air Force base in the middle of Japan. It's like a little drop of America in the middle of a whole country.
That's crazy.
Yo, it was the wildest thing. And I'm getting people that were from other bases throughout the world. They're coming into Yokota, and you're mixing. It was more West Coast because a lot of people were being stationed since California was like the closest U.S. state. Boom.
Going the other way around the world.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like all of our P.O. boxes went to Cali.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was wild. So our stuff would go through Cali, then come to us. And it was a lot of like West Coast kind of feel, a little bit of Midwest DMV stuff, but mainly a lot of Cali people. And you could have had someone that was Taiwanese and German because of the mix of their dad and their mom meeting at these other places. And boom, you got a Taiwanese kid and he's German. Or someone that's Indian and South American, like straight from India, some Bangladesh. Like it was the wildest culture clashes of going to your friend's house after school and the kind of food that the pops would be cooking, but the moms would be cooking something because you coming over and they want you to feel the flavor of their country. Bro, my mind, the sensibilities. I was a collard green, mac and cheese, fried chicken, potato chip, icy
fried bologna,
sugar water, like yo. And then you get all of these different things, and now I'm eating like Japanese food, yakitori, all types of stuff, man. Like you just start understanding that the world is so much bigger than what you were placed in, and if you don't move around, you're missing so much. So my mind at 11 years old is like, I need to go places. I need to be somewhere where I haven't been or I found out about. And there's no internet. So I was just fortunate enough to fall into that. And that's where true culture starts to come. It's not like the things that were being marketed to us I was experiencing. I was experiencing life being marketed to me.
Like that's crazy when you really just think about it, man, how life just sort of unfolds like that. You can't plan that. Nah. And as a kid, you ain't got no choice, you ain't got no say.
Right. So I guess we're going there.
Yeah, you go through emotions, but it's just nuts to think about how even with us having kids now, and we could sort of look at them in their age and get a feel for like, I know what you're thinking. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to run game. I was your age once, but
Right.
we didn't realize when we were that age that our parents like knew exactly what we were up to. But it's crazy to think that to a certain degree, I'm sure they also knew like, hey, you're gonna appreciate this one day.
Yep. Yep. As much as I was like, dag, man, I'm gonna miss my cousins. Cause I'm a big cousin family dude. Like, we all getting older at that point. And just as everything is like, yo, you could go do whatever you want to do by yourself. You could ride the
Mm-hmm.
you can start getting those checkpoints that you're waiting for. You just get uprooted. And now I'm in a place where I have no friends, no family. It's just whatever I accumulated as a person and personality and who I am and everything that you learned and go through up until 11 years old in your life. Now you got to spit that back out so you can protect yourself and build your own tribe. And me being the kid of being outside, being an outside kid back in the day,
Right.
what I did, I went outside. And first day, well, it was like maybe a couple of days after we got there, I went outside to like this little park that they had outside of our hotel that we was staying at. And back then we used to have like the stopwatches. Remember, like everybody used to rock stopwatches and stuff
The
like
fake
that.
flag, that's like
Yeah,
88,
yeah.
87,
This is
88.
86.
You had the different color ones.
Different colors. You
Had
take
the
the
red
food,
joint, the black
start,
joint.
yeah, start mixing them. So I came outside and I had my
You had like
stopwatch
three,
on.
four of them on.
Yep. I had my joint on, and I get out there. I'm just like chilling, just you know, checking the seat or whatever. And this black kid, come up. He got a stopwatch on. like yo, yo, this is the last thing I'm expecting to see a dude with some Adidas on. He was fresh too. I was like, yo, wait a minute. He look at me. I'm fresh. I got my Nikes on.
Right.
Got my stopwatch. And he's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, yo, you just getting out here? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I've been here a couple of weeks. My man Maurice, he's like, my name is Maurice. I'm like, all right, where you from? I'm from Brooklyn. That's how you just say, not like New York. He's like, I'm from Brooklyn too. It's like, you ain't from no Brooklyn. Where you?
Right.
Like, oh, all of a sudden you from like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm from Brooklyn. I was like, word. Now my family's from Brevoort Projects on my dad's side, so I used to be over there every weekend. He was like, I'm from Marcy.
Ah,
He was like, and my cousin's aunt was from Marcy, so we used to go over there and play too back in the day. And it was just funny because I was like, yo, I know where that is. You
right.
over there by Myrtle and all that. He was like, yeah, yo, I heard of Brevoort. Yo, that became my best friend out there, yo.
Wow.
One of my best friends, man. And it was so funny, all because like that stopwatch and our Brooklyn swag. He was just out there. His mom had just got out there as well. And I think like it took us to go all the way around the world to meet from the same little area project. You know what I mean? Like that's the craziest thing. And it was like, oh, you got somebody. You think you're not gonna have no friends that understand who you are and where you from. All right, watch this. I got somebody that's right from Marcy. So I knew about Marcy before the whole J thing happened. And he became like one of those guys that I could, whatever kind of style came out or whatever new music came out, I could bounce that off him. Then I also had other friends that were from the Midwest.
Mm.
My man Ike and that whole family, my boys, the twins, Aaron and Freddie, two white dudes from the DMV area,
Mm.
and they ended up like I think they ended up settling in Texas, but they fam now. They were the illest DJs out there. Two white twin dudes, illest DJs. All the black dudes, they used to do parties and stuff like that. They was ill, and then like like all the older dudes, like my man Desh and T and all of them, like they used to have a crew called the X-Men. That was like the fly dudes, from
Over
Yakota.
there.
Over there, it was a whole thing. It was like imagine Americana with like I never experienced like school bonfires and true rivalries between schools and prep rallies. Prep rally. I didn't know what the hell a prep rally. Yo, to be in that kind of environment at that young of an age, going from I was in sixth grade there, seventh, eighth, and a little bit of ninth.
That's
And
crazy.
our junior high and high school were together. So you were already with the older kids out
Right.
there. So I'm running with the older heads, like, going to the youth center, looking at videos. Yo TV Raps is coming out around this time. My uncles are sending me Red Alert tapes and, Mr. Magic tapes and any kind of hip hop, anything. They were sending me all the video music box, VHS tapes and stuff so we could look at stuff.
That's crazy.
Bro, it was just too much to take in. And I used to get a lot of that early. So I became like one of those guys that people could go to and know that there's some hip hop stuff that's coming out of this dude. And then some of my other friends, they fam had it. And when I think about, putting King together, it was like a lot of those. I knew what it was like to want to wait and find out what new, because we didn't have easy access like we did when we was I did when I was in New York. I had to wait. And do you know what the anticipation is like to know that a Rakim or somebody is coming out and you can't hear it? Our radio out there ain't playing it. Ain't no internet. You
Nah.
gotta wait. Like, y'all sending that. And we didn't even have a phone in the house. We had to go on the base to call. Like, it was crazy, bro. So, because remember, I lived off base.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't have the easy access to even the stuff that was trickling in on base. I didn't even have access to that. All my stuff that I watch, man, I watched.
That's all this is saying a lot, man, because you born and raised New York City.
Yep.
But you left, came back, left, came back, left, came back, left. Bruh, you got to think about it. Think about how many cats you grew up with.
Yep.
That never left.
Yo, I still know.
That never left.
It's crazy.
The hell with the city or the state. A lot of them barely even left the block.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? It's like and don't want to leave.
Nah, man. Or reveled in the fact that, yeah, I've been here holding it down. And revel in that.
But don't know what they've missed by not even getting away.
Or the other way too, or I shouldn't say, and the other way too, some of them wish they did what I did. Wish they had that route. Like, it would come up like, damn, man, at least you got a chance to go see something. And it was like,
as if
and I'm mad that I left. Here I am.
Right.
You like,
right.
Man, I gotta catch up.
Yeah.
But, like detouring real quick, after the 3 years out there, we went to New Mexico. We went to Albuquerque, the same spot Bugs Bunny was talking about. I was like, yo, what kind of shit is this?
Law of attraction. People don't understand. People don't understand. It's like when you pay attention to certain things, you can make them your reality, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, literally. And you mix the law of attraction to working towards it and speaking it all the time. That's positive and negative.
Yeah.
If you mix in prayer, if you pray for certain things and that energy of prayer comes through and it connects with the law of attraction and it connects with the other energy that's out there, you'll end up in the illest of spots, both positive and negative, man, because I've done it to myself both times.
So stay right there, man. When people think about, oh, man, not religious, not in the, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. When you really think about the whole concept of prayer, it really is, if you're able to, really embrace the concept of what it's supposed to be, it really is like a form of meditation.
Automatic.
And what that is it helps it when you're praying. I know for me, like when I'm able to really get deep in prayer, it's sort of like a space of stillness. It's like you quieten your mind, you quieten your thoughts. And it's like when your mind isn't busy and got like a million things going on, you can focus your energy more. You can concentrate on certain things. Certain things just come up. Like, man, I'm gonna tell you, like some of my most, some of my best ideas come from not trying to get a best idea. It comes from a moment to where I'm focused on something else, and then oh snap.
Yep. There you go.
You know? And it's sort of like, and the thing is, it's like a form of stillness.
It is.
In class, my man is up there talking. I'm not fiddling with nothing. I'm not on my phone. Ain't with no phone then. But it'll be like a thought will come, and then I'm forgetting about what's going on in the class, and I'm writing down whatever came. That's what it's like, a form of stillness, man.
It is, man. It is. And I mean, I learned that from my grandmothers. Them being church going every Sunday, dragging me to.
Yep.
I had to be there, especially down south. I had to be there every Sunday school.
Right.
It gets drilled into you enough. You're like, all right, I'm going to try it. And you start trying it and it start working. And you don't realize until you get older that there are certain parts of it that's really into the fabric of existence. And if you use it the right way, it can elevate you when you're super down. And it can elevate you even more when you super up.
Man,
if you're still with it, if you don't forget about it, because sometimes we forget to pray over our food. Sometimes we may forget to pray before you go to bed.
Right.
Just pray in the middle of the day.
Right. Or all throughout the day.
Throughout the day, you say a little something to yourself and you keep it moving. And it's like, affirmations wrapped in religion, but at the same time, if you're not religious, it's still a practice of being spiritual and connecting to either your higher self and or a higher self above you, and I have to say, man, like that's been the one thing that has probably propelled me in the illest of craziest of most dire times. And I think we always look at prayer as this fail-safe, like, oh man, I gotta pray. Or people tell you to pray at your worst moments. You gotta pray at your best too. You gotta pray at your okay. And I say that more now that I'm older, because there have been times where you're like, damn, man, is this gonna work? How do I calm myself? And that's before all of the whole like holistic stuff that we're so open to grab now. Because back in the day, it wasn't cool. It was trendy, But my grandmothers used to always instill that in me, and luckily, they did it to the point where it stuck with me now. So sometimes you fall off. Your run is so dope. You're like, oh, God got me.
And then sometimes you fall off.
Yep.
And it's like you really fall off, and you don't got a choice but to go back.
go
to get right. Go back. Yeah, I got to go back to
go.
I remember being one of them kids. I used to be mad, man. I'd be like, damn, I got to go to church.
Yeah.
I got to go over to choir rehearsal. Vacation Bible school.
Right.
I remember being the case to complain, because I used to have certain friends in the neighborhood that did, they didn't go to church. Parents didn't go to church. And I used to be envying them, man, because I'm like, damn, y'all get to sleep in on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday, they good money.
Because for me, one, I'm like either getting up early, I'm making and I'm like it's a task, but either I'm getting up early to watch, Saturday morning cartoons, because Spider-Man come on like 7 a.m.
You had to get up.
You had to get up.
If you overslept, you was mad.
You was mad because it's like, damn, I missed. So, and the thing is, once I really got into sports, I was like, okay, cool. I got to get up and go to basketball practice.
Yep.
And I remember complaining to my mother, like, man, I don't get a day off. I got to go to school. And I got practice on Saturday. Then I go to church on Sunday, But I'm going to tell you, like Scarface, man, one of the illest lines, man, that this dude, he has. And just talking about that whole church experience, song called Win, Lose, or Die, one of my favorite songs he got. And he said, I'm glad it's installed in me, because day one, glad it's installed in me from day one to believe in something, because most of my homies believed in nothing. He's like, and they paying for it. God bless their souls. God rest their souls. I'll be praying for it. Eventually they have their day in court. And it's just like that, just the whole idea of like, have their day in court, coming before God in judgment day.
The whole judgment.
The whole idea of, man, I'm glad it's installed in me from day one, believing something, because most of my homies believe in nothing. Just think if you don't have no faith, and you don't have anything guiding you, you don't have any foundation,
nothing to ground you. You're floating.
To ground you.
Floating.
So if you're up, you don't really have anything to sort of justify or give thanks to. You're just like, yeah, nigga, it's all me. Or you flip it, and if you're down, you just like, man, like what are you even gravitating towards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's for us to get to this part, I know we're running low on time. For us to get to this part, we should probably end it on this because we got part 2.
Yeah,
the whole foundation of like going into high school and all of that stuff. So we could go into that.
We even got
you gotta start kicking because
we still got some more elementary school. We ain't
I know.
Thriller. We ain't talked about.
I know. We got to go through all of that.
Purple Rain. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about the show.
I know. We gotta get back on part 2. We're gonna keep them wondering and waiting. We're gonna see how they like this one. Cause this took a whole nother range, man. We ended on prayer. I ain't see that coming.
No.
I love it, man. So let's this is Datwon. I'm here. We going through. I got my man A, and I just gotta thank you, bro, because I was like, oh man, how we gonna flip this? And it's already dope. So
nah, man.
Yeah, the people, y'all gonna love it. We're gonna get a lot more infused into this. Y'all gonna see.
The origins, man.
There we go.
Stories, you know what I'm saying? How this whole thing came to be, man.
That's what's up. Yo, King Crew, the whole Royal Court, you know what I'm saying? Gotta give a shout out to them. But we're gonna do part 2 of like the origins next week.
Absolutely.
So one up.
Y'all keep checking for it. We'll be back.
Peace.